Welcome back everyone to another exciting video here on the channel Top Coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet fascinating coins from the United States Mint. We are going to talk about the one-dime coin from the year 2000. Many people pass by these dimes every single day without even realizing that some of them may actually be worth much more than just 10 cents. If you are a collector, an investor, or even someone who has just stumbled upon a shiny dime from the year 2000 in your pocket change, you might want to listen closely because we are going to break down everything. We will cover the history of the dime, why the year 2000 is so interesting, what types of errors and varieties exist, and most importantly what the current market value is for these coins in different conditions. Stick with me until the very end because I am going to share some unbelievable auction records that will make you double-check every dime you own. Let's start with the history of the dime itself. The dime has been a part of United States coinage since the late 1700s. Over time, the design has changed multiple times, but the most familiar version to all of us today is the Roosevelt dime. This design was first introduced in 1946 following the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who had guided the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II. The dime was chosen as the coin to honor him partly because of his connection to the March of Dimes charity, which raised funds to fight polio, a disease that Roosevelt himself had struggled with. The Roosevelt dime was initially made of 90% silver until 1964. After that year, due to rising silver prices, the composition changed to a clad coin made of copper and nickel. So by the year 2000, all circulating dimes were made of this copper-nickel clad composition with a weight of 2.27 grams and a diameter of 17.9 millimeters. Now you might be thinking, if these dimes are just ordinary copper-nickel coins, then why would anyone care about the year 2000 dime? Well, here is where things get interesting. The year 2000 was a year of massive coin production. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1.5 billion Roosevelt dimes and the Denver Mint struck another 1.5 billion. That means nearly 3 billion dimes were made that year. With such a huge mintage, it might sound like these coins would be common and worthless beyond face value. But when you dig deeper, you will find that the year 2000 dimes hide some treasures, especially when it comes to error coins, high-grade examples, and special proof issues. First, let's talk about circulation strikes. Most 2000p and 2000d dimes that you will find in circulation are only worth their face value of 10 cents unless they are in absolutely pristine uncirculated condition. When I say pristine, I mean coins that look like they just left the mint with no scratches, no dings, and full luster. Collectors refer to these as mint state coins, and they are graded on a scale from 60 to 70 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. A regular 2000p or 2000d dime in mint state 65 might be worth about $2 to $5. But if you have one graded MS67 or higher, the value jumps dramatically. Some of these have sold for over $100, and in MS68, we are talking about hundreds of dollars for just one dime. That is the power of condition rarity. Out of billions of coins struck, only a tiny fraction survive in perfect flawless condition. Now let's move on to the proof coins. In the year 2000, the San Francisco Mint produced proof Roosevelt dimes for collectors. These were not made for circulation. Instead, they were included in special proof sets that people could buy directly from the mint. These coins have a mirror-like finish and razor-sharp details. Regular proof examples are not very rare, but they are still collectible and usually sell for $1 to $5 depending on condition. However, there is also the 2000s silver proof dime. This version is made of 90% silver, just like the old pre-1965 dimes. Each one contains about 0.0723 troy ounces of pure silver. So the base value of this coin rises and falls with the silver market. In today's market, the silver content alone is worth around $2, but high-grade or perfect PR70 deep cameo examples can bring $20 or more. The real excitement for collectors, though, comes with error coins. Error dimes from the year 2000 can fetch significant premiums. For example, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing because the coin was not aligned properly in the press are quite valuable. Depending on how dramatic the error is, these can sell anywhere from $50 to a few hundred. There are also double die errors where the design elements like the date or lettering appear doubled. Some of these varieties are subtle, but collectors pay well for dramatic doubling. Other rare errors include coins struck on the wrong planchet, missing clad layers, or coins with broad strikes. These unusual mistakes slip out of the mint in very small numbers, and collectors are always eager to pay high prices for them. Now let's look at some actual market values from recent auctions. A 2000p dime graded MS68 by PCGS sold for nearly $400. A 2000D dime in the same grade sold for over $250. Proof coins in PR70 Deep Cameo have been selling in the $30 to $50 range. And some of the more dramatic error coins have sold for several $100s each. Imagine finding one of those in your pocket change. So what does all this mean for you? It means that while most year 2000 dimes are only worth 10 cents, there is always the chance that you might have a hidden gem sitting in your change jar or tucked away in an old coin collection. The key is to look carefully. Check the condition of your coins. If they look sharp and uncirculated, consider setting them aside. If you notice anything unusual like doubling, off-center designs, or a strange missing layer, you may have found a valuable error coin. The world of coin collecting is fascinating because it turns ordinary everyday objects into pieces of history and sometimes into treasures worth far more than their face value. The 2000 dime is a perfect example of this. It connects us to the long tradition of the Roosevelt dime design, it reflects the massive coin production of the modern mint, and it offers surprises for those who take the time to look closely. So the next time you come across a dime from the year 2000, don't just spend it without a second thought. Take a closer look. It could be a key to starting your own coin collecting journey, or it could even be worth hundreds of dollars if you are lucky enough to find a rare high-grade or error example. That brings us to the end of today's deep dive into the one dime coin from the year 2000. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more detailed coin collecting content. And let me know in the comments if you have ever found a valuable dime or if you are planning to go through your own coin jars after watching this video. Who knows, you might just uncover a small fortune hidden in plain sight. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, where we talk about coins, currency, and hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change. Today we are going to talk about a coin that many people see every single day but do not really pay attention to, and that is the 2005 United States dime. Now a dime is small, just 10 cents in face value, but the story behind this coin, its design, its history, and especially its potential collector value can make it worth much more than you think. So stay with me until the end of the video because I am going to break down everything you need to know about the 2005 dime. First, let's begin with the design. The United States dime, as most of you already know, features the portrait of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. He was added to the dime back in 1946, just after his passing, to honor his leadership and his role in creating the March of Dimes organization that fought against polio. The portrait on the obverse side of the dime was created by John Arsenic, and it has remained on the dime for decades with only very minor adjustments. So when you look at your 2005 dime, you are still seeing that same classic Roosevelt design. On the reverse of the coin, you have the torch in the center representing liberty, with an olive branch to the left symbolizing peace and an oak branch to the right symbolizing strength and independence. This design has also stayed the same for a long time, which makes every Roosevelt dime instantly recognizable. Now let's talk about the 2005 mintage, where the coins were made and how many were struck in 2005. The dime was minted in 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which carries the letter P, the Denver Mint, which carries the letter D, and the San Francisco Mint, which produces proof coins with the letter S. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 1 billion dimes in 2005. The Denver Mint also produced well over 1 billion, so we are talking about a huge number of coins that entered circulation that year. The San Francisco Mint made proof coins for collectors, and those are found in much smaller numbers, usually just a few million, because so many of these coins were struck. Most 2005 dimes you see in circulation are only worth face value just 10 cents. However, there are exceptions, and those are what make this coin so exciting for collectors. The first thing to know is that condition matters tremendously. If you find a 2005 dime that has been well preserved with no scratches, bright luster, and sharp details, it might be graded by a professional coin service as mint state. Mint state coins graded from MS60 up to MS70 can carry significant premiums even for modern coins. An ordinary dime from your change might be worth just 10 cents, but a high-grade mint state 67 or 68 dime can sell for $20, $50, or sometimes more at auction. Another important factor is whether the coin is a proof coin struck at San Francisco. Proof coins are specially made for collectors with polished dies. and mirror-like surfaces. They were not meant for circulation, so if you find one in a set and it is still in pristine condition, it can be worth several dollars to collectors. But the real treasures come from error coins. These are coins that were struck with mistakes, and some 2005 dimes have very interesting errors that make them valuable. For example, you might find a dime with an off-center strike where part of the design is missing because the blank planchet was not properly aligned. Those can sell for anywhere between $20 and several hundred depending on how dramatic the error is. Another type of error is a double die where parts of the lettering or design appear doubled. This is rare, but if you spot a strong double die, it can bring serious money. There are also transitional errors, planchet errors, and even missing clad layer dimes where part of the surface is stripped away, leaving a copper-colored appearance. Now let's move on to actual sales and market value so you can get a realistic idea of what people are paying for these coins right now. In average circulated condition, a 2005 dime is worth just 10 cents. In uncirculated condition, coins graded around MS65 can be worth $2 to $5. Coins graded MS67 can go for $10 to $30, and if you happen to find one in MS68, you are talking about a coin that could fetch over $100 depending on demand. Proof coins, especially those in deep cameo condition, are typically worth $2 to $5, but if they are graded PR70 perfect grade by a professional grading service, they can sell for $50 or even more. As for error coins, the sky is really the limit. A dramatic off-center strike dime from 2005 has sold for well over $100, and rare double die examples could bring several hundred if they are dramatic and in strong condition. Always remember, error coins are unique, so the market value depends heavily on how rare and eye-catching the mistake is. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that next time you get change at the grocery store or at a vending machine, do not overlook those little dimes. Take a second to examine the date, check for the mint mark, look for anything unusual in the design, and if you have a coin that looks perfect with strong luster and know where, you might want to set it aside and consider sending it in for grading. Collectors love modern error coins because they stand out among billions of ordinary strikes, so your pocket change could literally hold a treasure that is worth many times more than face value. To sum it all up, the 2005 dime is a coin most people see as ordinary, but in the right condition or with the right error, it can be worth far more than 10 cents. High-grade examples are valuable. Proof coins carry collector interest, and dramatic errors can be worth hundreds of dollars. So the next time you are holding a dime from 2005, remember that history, design, and rarity all play a role in its value, and who knows, maybe you already have one of these valuable coins sitting in a jar at home. If you enjoyed learning about the 2005 dime, its history, its value, and its potential market worth, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other coin enthusiasts. Leave a comment down below if you have a 2005 dime and let us know whether you found anything unusual on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video where we continue exploring the hidden treasures in everyday pocket change. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of United States coins, and our spotlight is on the 2015 dime coin. Now, this small piece of metal that most people overlook in their change can actually be worth far more than just 10 cents if you know what to look for. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video you will know exactly what makes the 2015 dime so interesting, its history, and what collectors are paying for them in today's market. Let us start with a little history. The dime has been a part of American currency since the late 1700s. The very first dime was struck in 1796, and over the years the design has changed multiple times, but the dime that we use today, the one with President Franklin D. Roosevelt, has been around since 1946. This design was chosen to honor Roosevelt after his death because he was a driving force behind the March of Dimes, a campaign that helped fight polio. The design stuck, and more than 70 years later we are still carrying Roosevelt in our pockets every single day. Now fast forward to 2015. What makes the 2015 dime interesting is not only its connection to this long history, but also the fact that collectors are always on the hunt for special variations, errors, and high-grade examples of modern coins. Many people think only old coins are valuable, but in reality newer coins with the right features can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So what exactly makes a 2015 dime valuable? First, let's talk about condition. Condition is everything in the world of coins. A 2015 dime that has been circulated and shows scratches, wear, and dull surfaces will usually only be worth face value 10 cents, but a dime from 2015 that has never been used, known as uncirculated, can be worth much more. Collectors will pay a premium for coins that look brand new, especially if they have been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. When a dime is graded in the highest levels such as MS67, MS68, or even higher, it becomes rare and valuable because so few Coins survive in that perfect state. For example, a 2015 dime graded MS-68 can sometimes sell for over $100 at auction. That may not sound huge, but remember, we are talking about a coin that is supposed to be worth just 10 cents, but it gets even more exciting when we consider error coins. Error coins are mistakes made during the minting process, and collectors absolutely love them. Some 2015 dimes were struck off center, which means part of the design is missing. Others might have doubling, which makes the letters and numbers look like they have a shadow or double image. There are also rare cases of missing clad layers where the outer covering of the coin is gone and you see a copper-colored surface instead. All of these errors can make a dime worth far more than its face value, sometimes hundreds and in rare cases even thousands of dollars, depending on the type and visibility of the error. Now let us talk about mint marks. The 2015 dime was struck at 3 different mints. You can find them with a D for Denver, a P for Philadelphia, and an S for San Francisco. The coins with an S mint mark are special because they are proof coins. These were made with extra care, polished dies, and sold directly to collectors in sets. Proof dimes from 2015 are much shinier and have a mirror-like surface. They are not typically found in your pocket change, but if you own one, it can be worth several dollars, especially in perfect condition. So what about the current market value of 2015 dimes? Well, as of now, circulated 2015 dimes are still mostly worth 10 cents, but high-grade examples, especially those that grade MS-67 or higher, can bring anywhere from $50 to more than $100 at auctions and coin shows. Proof versions from San Francisco can fetch $10 to $20 depending on the grade, and rare error coins can easily climb into the hundreds or even thousands depending on how dramatic the mistake is. It is important to remember that coin values change over time. The market for coins goes up and down just like the stock market. Values depend on demand, the number of collectors interested in the coin, and how rare or perfect that coin actually is. This means if you have a special 2015 dime, it could increase in value as more people start looking for modern errors and high-grade coins. So the big question is, should you be checking your change absolutely every single day? Thousands of people spend or deposit coins without realizing they are letting go of valuable pieces. Just imagine finding a dime worth $100 or more in your pocket. That is the fun of coin collecting and why this hobby continues to grow. Before we wrap up, let me give you some tips on spotting valuable 2015 dimes. First, always check the mint mark. Look closely at the letters and numbers to see if there is any doubling or strange features. Hold the coin under good light to see if the surfaces are sharp and flawless. If you suspect you have a special coin, consider sending it to a grading service, because authentication and grading are what turn a coin from just change into a collectible investment. To sum it all up, the 2015 United States dime might look like an ordinary coin, but in reality it has layers of history, rarity, and potential value. Regular circulated examples are worth 10 cents, but pristine uncirculated examples can fetch much higher prices. Proofs and errors are especially sought after, and in today's market, collectors are paying very strong premiums for them. So next time you get change at the store or bank, do not ignore that dime. It could be a hidden treasure sitting right in your pocket. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed learning about the 2015 dime coin and its history, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other coin lovers. Stay tuned because we will be covering more modern coins with surprising values that you do not want to miss. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating small coins ever minted in the United States, the one dime coin from 2023. Now, at first glance, most people overlook the dime. It is tiny, it slips between your fingers, it gets lost in couch cushions and car seats. But in the world of coin collecting and numismatics, sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest stories and in some cases surprising value. So let's start with a little history lesson, because understanding the dime is the key to understanding its potential worth. The dime has been minted since 1796. It has gone through several iconic designs, from the draped bust to the seated Liberty, from the barber dime to the winged Liberty head. Most people call it the Mercury dime, and then of course the modern Roosevelt dime, which has been with us since 1946. The Roosevelt dime was introduced to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945, and he was strongly associated with the March of Dimes campaign to fight polio. This connection between the man and the coin gave it a powerful symbolic meaning. Now fast forward all the way to 2023. The United States Mint continued producing the Roosevelt dime, but here is where it gets interesting. While billions of dimes are made every year, not all dimes are equal. Some 2023 dimes can be worth far more than 10 cents depending on where they were minted, the condition of the coin, and if there are any minting errors. Collectors love error coins because they are rare and unique. Sometimes it is a double die, sometimes it is an off-center strike, sometimes it is a missing mint mark. These errors transform an ordinary dime into a collectible treasure. The 2023 dime comes in several versions. Philadelphia minted coins carry no mint mark, Denver minted coins carry a D, and San Francisco produces proof coins with an S. The San Francisco proof dimes, especially those in deep cameo mirror-like condition, are highly sought after by collectors. These coins are made with special dies and polished planches, which means they look absolutely stunning under magnification. If you are lucky enough to have one graded by a professional grading service and it earns a high grade like PR70, you could be holding a coin worth a significant amount of money, far above face value. But let's talk about the market, because many of you want to know how much is the 2023 dime worth right now. As of today, a regular circulation dime from 2023 is still worth 10 cents if you spend it at the store. However, uncirculated coins, those straight from a mint roll or mint set, can sell for more, especially if they grade above MS65. Higher mint state coins in pristine condition with sharp details and no scratches have sold for several dollars each, which might not sound like much until you realize these are modern coins still being made now. Here is where the real value lies. Error coins and top graded proofs. An error dime from 2023 can fetch anywhere from $20 to hundreds of dollars depending on the type of error. A dramatic off-center strike where only part of the design is visible can easily bring in a few $100s. A double die error can also make headlines. Collectors compete fiercely for the rarest mistakes because they know very few escape. The mint-proof coins from San Francisco in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition are also bringing solid money right now on the open market. These can sell for $40, $50, even $100 depending on demand. Remember that coin collecting is not just about silver or gold content, it is about rarity, demand, and condition. Speaking of silver, a lot of people ask, is the 2023 dime silver? The answer is no, not in circulation. The regular 2023 dime is composed of copper and nickel. However, the US Mint also sells silver-proof sets, and in those sets the 2023 dime is struck in 90% silver. Those silver-proof dimes are beautiful and they have real metal value. In addition to collector demand, they are tied to the silver market price, so if silver rises, these coins become even more valuable. Now think about it, a tiny coin smaller than a quarter, lighter than a nickel, made of base metal can actually be worth 20, 50, even 100 times its face value just because of rarity, condition, or errors. That is what makes numismatics so exciting. You never know what might be hiding in your pocket change. If you come across a shiny 2023 dime, the first thing you should do is check the mint mark, then look carefully under magnification for doubling, misstrikes, or unusual features. If you have access to a grading service like PCGS or NGC and you think you have a rare variety, it could be well worth the submission cost to get it professionally certified. Certified coins carry higher premiums because buyers trust the authenticity and the grade. Collectors are always looking for the next sleeper coin, the kind of coin most people ignore until suddenly demand spikes and values shoot upward. The 2023 dime may not look like much now, but think about the Mercury dime back in 1946 when the Roosevelt design replaced it. Back then most people tossed Mercury dimes into circulation thinking they would always be common, yet today certain dates like the 1916 D Mercury dime are worth thousands. The lesson is simple: never underestimate a coin that looks ordinary today, because history shows us that tomorrow it may become a treasure. So what is the takeaway? The 2023 United States dime is part of a long tradition of American coinage. It carries the portrait of Franklin Roosevelt, reminding us of a president who guided the nation through crisis. It may be struck in base metals, but in certain forms, especially silver proofs, high-grade mint state coins, and error varieties, it is worth far more than 10 cents. The current market shows prices ranging from just a few dollars for uncirculated rolls to over $100 for rare proof coins and errors, and who knows how much these coins will be worth in 20 or 30 years when today's pocket change becomes tomorrow's collectible history. So the next time you get a dime in change, do not just throw it in the jar. Take a moment to look closely, because you might just have a coin worth a lot of money.